So that in this situation, it's like there will be children, say in kindergarten or first grade or whatever, who are ready to transition out of the program. Now what those children are like is, for example, at a stamping station, I was visiting this classroom and this child had stamped out, "The squirrel is a wild animal. It eats nuts." Now the child had stamped that out completely in stamps, and I could read it just like that. Well, a little slower, because I mean I have to sound these things out, but I mean it had all the correct sounds. There were no missing sounds or anything like that. That child was quite comfortably ready to transition out of the program, or at least go through the transition level, because you see the only difference between stamping it out and writing it out is knowing what letters to put down for the sounds you already hear. Because that child had already heard all the sounds in all those words and just needed to know what letters went with them. So before I show you some examples of stamping and stuff like that, I want to show you how the children learn which letters go with which sounds. Now actually, usually teachers think this is going to be the hard level. The hardest level of the program generally is the 2-sound level. Sometimes a little hard when a child's at 3-sound and wants to go to phrase sounds, or doesn't want to go to, because 3 sounds has been so secure and phrases look so scary. But the hardest part of learning to read is learning how to play the game. And the game is knowing that you can say sounds and hear the word those sounds make. Because when I said k, at before at the start, well, you've played the game long enough to know those sounds make the word cat. But by themselves, they don't really. You have to kind of slur them together to get the word cat to fall out of those sounds. That's what children are learning when they're doing 2-sound blending, how to hear those 2 sounds in isolation and slur them or blend them together to get the word that they are supposed to make. This part for children is rather easy. There are 3 rules they have to know. I said that the children were kind of taught that, oh, those lines underneath the sounds, or those little codes or things like that were for later when we were at the transition level. We're at the transition level now. So what we're going to do is a triangle worksheet, and you're going to help me with the sounds or how to spell the sounds, but I want to tell you a little bit first why we go back through the worksheets when we're at the transition level. First of all, the children, when they get to this level, have already been through all the worksheets. When they go back to that first plain triangle 2-sound worksheet, they're going all the way back to words they can read quite comfortably, all stamped out. But when they're learning how to use their decoding chart, remember that triangle meant only the first 8 sounds. So when you're learning how to write it, the triangle means look just in the top left-hand row of your decoding chart for the 8 sounds you'll need to see. So that by going back through the worksheets, they add 1 sound at a time, or not 1 sound, 1 row at a time in essence. First 8 sounds, second 8 sounds, third 8 sounds. So when they're doing the triangle worksheets, either 2-sound level or 3-sound level, they only look one place on the worksheet or the decoding chart. And when they're doing the next one, only the first 2 rows, and so on, so that they don't have to look all over the decoding chart. The decoding chart, of course, has its order of sounds, the same order as the sounds were presented in Decode-if-you-can, the same order the sounds were in the stamping tray, in the same order that the sounds have always appeared whenever the students have seen them. In effect, it's like the alphabetical order of the sounds, so that the order they are on that decoding chart is the same order they were when you were learning to look for them in the stamp trays. All right, now, let's see. First word to write. Well, we've already read this. What was this word when we read it? Okay, it was eat. So in this situation, let's see, look for, now it's triangle level, as I've said 2 or 3 times already. Triangle level, look in the top, whatever that row is on your decoding chart. What is, let's see, this has a yellow rectangle underneath it, so look for the yellow spelling of the E sound. It's E-A. All right, this has the T sound, has no color coding underneath it. That means use the white spelling. On the worksheets where these come, the worksheet's white underneath there. So what's the white spelling for T? That must be how we write eat. Let's push our luck. What's the, still triangle level, so it must still be the top row. What's the first spelling of the S? The second spelling of E. By the way, these lines in the worksheet simply indicate the spelling is going to go there. It's not a one-to-one correspondence between letters. You know, the spelling for S is going to go right here. The spelling for E is going to go right there, right underneath it. Let's try another one. This didn't come out too well because I Xeroxed this. So we just kind of colored red in there. So this is first spelling of and red spelling of O. What's the white spelling of The red spelling of O? Okay, that must be row. All right. That's the first rule. Look for the spelling on the decoding chart. Look for the color of it underneath. On the decoding chart, they're color-coded to match the codes here. Let's see if we can come up with the second rule. Here's the second rule. This is a triangle level worksheet. No, it isn't. It's a square level worksheet. It's very close to a triangle level worksheet. It's just 2 levels beyond that. Okay, it's got a square here. Now, it seems to me the codings went triangle, circle, square. So square means the first 3 sets of 8 sounds, or the first 24 sounds. That's the whole left half of your decoding chart. So this time when you're looking for spellings, you'd have to look on the whole left half of the decoding chart. All right? What is the white spelling for D? D. What is the white spelling for Ah? O. What is the white spelling for O? L. What do you think 2 stars means? Write it twice. Twice. Yeah, that's all 2 stars mean. Write that spelling twice. That's the second rule. Now, we'll do this word. This is not really a third rule. You already know this rule. You just don't know you know it yet. Okay? First spelling of sh. No fair guessing. See if you can find it. What is it? All right. The rule you already know says what you're going to put here. For the A, what's the second spelling of the sound A? It's got A-E, but it really has A and an arrow over and an E. So you just put the A at this end of the arrow and the E at this end. I don't know if you can see where you are, but there's an arrow here. So the child just puts the A there and the E. See the E on your decoding chart, it goes A. I don't know if it'll show up here. Let's see if it shows. Yeah. See this A, it's got A and an arrow, and then the arrow goes over there and comes up by the E. Well, the worksheet has the same thing. What's the first spelling or the white spelling of V? I guess that's shave.